Hi, Cheryl. How are you tonight? I was just tagging a few people. Hello, hello. So we've been making some cards out of the images that we colored over the past week or so. And we're going to continue that tonight. But in addition, I wanted to do one more, so we had a little bit of coloring to do tonight. So right now, hi Mama. You're doing okay? Yeah, I'm doing okay. I have a lot going on right now, but other than that, I'm doing really good. So before we get too far into this, I want to let you know that whatever we colored tonight, we're going to make a card out of it tonight with the rest of the cards that we're going to make tonight. So we're just going to color a little something. I'm currently cutting out a mask for it while I'm talking to you about what we're going to do. But I need to get everything done tonight because I will not be live tomorrow. My daughter is in a play called Legally Blonde in the local area, and opening night was tonight. And I have tickets to go on Friday night. So it starts at 8, so there's no way I would be home in time for a live. So I will talk to Jamie and see if she wants to cover for me. Otherwise, no live on Friday. So I'm super excited that she's doing this play and that she has such a big role in it. And she's super excited about it, so I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited. And that's why we already have our tickets, so we can be ready to go. And if you haven't heard me talk about it, then I posted on my Facebook, not Sweet Sentiments, but on my Facebook I posted about the play that's coming up. So if any of you happen to be in the local area and want to go see the play, I would love for you to go see it. It will be awesome. She's super excited about it. She's been rehearsing for quite some time now. I'm working really hard. I saw her earlier today when I picked up Cooper, because I have Cooper tonight. He already went to bed, so I'm talking a little softer than I normally do because he's probably not quite sleeping yet. But Dale's in the other room, so if he gets up or we have any issues, he'll help me out. But probably won't have any problems since he told me he was ready to go to bed about 30 minutes ago. So he volunteered himself to go to bed early. Okay, so I just finished cutting out, look, the mask. So this is what we're going to color tonight. She's so tiny and so cute. I can't wait. So I was going to do this one, but then I decided with all the cards that we have to do, it probably would be easier to do a little one. Plus, I've been wanting to use the, yeah, grandkids are so cute. I wanted to use the stencil. I don't know if you guys saw the stencil or not, but it looks like this. It's the dinosaur footprints and bones, and then the bird footprints are in there as well. So it's very dinosaur related, and the other cards, I wanted to use this with this one. So we're definitely going to do that. This is the last set. It's called Roar, and I already know what sentiment I want to put on it and everything because I'm super excited about it. I already picked the colors, so we don't have to worry about that. Oh, you ordered that too? Yeah, they're super cute. Have you gotten them yet? So I stamped this before we got started. I was kind of waiting to see if anybody else joined, but pretty quiet out there tonight. Maybe some will jump in later. So what I did was, I just thought she was so super cute. She's little, but very, but she's very mighty. She's got a roar going on. So once we color her, we're going to cover her up with this mask. Just like that. And then we're going to do the background with that stencil that I like, that came out with the set, because I thought that would be super fun. So we'll see how it all comes out. I don't really know. I haven't planned this card out that much, just the idea of what I have. The other ones, I have already planned them out, so they shouldn't take us a really long time, and you don't have to watch me do the, you know, all the little things like, you know, cutting the paper and stuff like that. I already have all of that stuff ready. I'm adjusting my light just a little bit so you guys can see a little better. There we go. Okay, so, ooh, excuse me. So I picked the color combo, but it's a little different this time. It's E00000, E11, E13, and RV95. The reason I changed it up a little bit was because if she is a little prehistoric gal, she probably is not going to be light skinned. She's probably going to be very tan. So I want to make her a little bit more tan than what we normally do. So we can go ahead and get started while we wait for some others to join in. I think we have a few looking on because we now have 4 people, but I don't know who they all are. She's tiny but not hard to color, so it'll all be good. Okay, so with my E000, I'm going to wet the paper where her skin is on her face. So I'm going to do her face first. I am going to do above her eyebrows just because I don't want it to look like her hair is running right into her eyebrows. She's so much, she makes me laugh so much. And I'm going to do her little ear and her neck all at the same time. And then we'll do her arms, her midriff, and her legs at the same time. Thanks, Mama. Okay. I think I'm going to do in her mouth as well right here because I am going to color that with one of our really dark colors. So I chose to go with RV95 instead of E04 this time. I switch them out whatever I feel like at the time. So, wow, we lost some of our watchers. I don't really know what's up with that. But we're going to have fun anyway, and they can hit the replay. So I'm just kind of guiding where her hairline would be with this darkest shade, which is going to be the shadow. Going to go down the side of her face a little bit, kind of right here where the hair is. Then I'm going to do the inside of her ear, and a little bit down here in the corner. And then I'm going to do her neck. Hi, Renska. This one is me. This one is in the likes of me, and this one is in the likes of Jamie. Because that's her favorite dinosaur, and that's my favorite dinosaur. Well, I like the Velociraptor too, but hey. Awesome, right, Mom? And you are always there. Renska's usually here too. So I'm super happy she popped on. So I like to use the darkest shadow skin color like inside her mouth, you know, because it's very shadowed in there. Hello. So what I was saying earlier, Renska, is that we're going to color this little girl, and then we're going to cover her up with the mask that I already cut out, and we're going to make a background for her, and then we're going to make 3 more cards with the rest of the images we colored last week. So tonight's the last of the sequence of it's the last of the dinosaurs that we colored last week, and then tonight will be, I think this is video 5 that we've done now with all these dinosaurs either coloring or making cards out of them. So they will be posted on YouTube now because this will be the last one. So I'm just kind of pulling from where I put that darkest shadow and extending it out for this second color, which is E13, which is going to keep it somewhat on the darker side, which I want it to be because, you know, she's outside. She's a cave girl, so she spends a lot of time outside. So if that's the case, I thought I might use a little bit darker skin tone than what I usually do. So that's what we're doing tonight. Now we're going to go to E11. And we're going to finish all the outline of her face. And then we're going to pull out just a little bit further with this shadow area down to about her eyes. And then through her little cheeks. Probably finish her neck with that one. And I meant to go in there with E13 and finish the inside of her mouth. So I'm going to pull E13 out again and just finish that up. So usually, hi Betsy, welcome, welcome. Usually when I do if the inside of the mouth is that big, I usually use the 2 darkest colors in the skin tone combo that I'm using at the time to do the inside of her mouth so it really shows up. And then I'm going to grab my R11 before I go too much further, and that's the color that I'm going to put on her cheeks. I tend to like R11 a little bit more than the standard R20 or R30 or whatever most people use. It's a personal preference. It doesn't really matter which one you use. It's whatever you like the best. I like E11 because I don't wear a lot of makeup and I like it to look really natural and not like you're wearing any. So that's why I like the lighter color. But other people might like it more prominent, and you're welcome to do it that way for sure. This is E00, and I'm blending those little cheeks a little bit and filling in anywhere I had not put any other color. And then we have her little face done. So I'll hold it up so you guys can see it really close. It looks really good. I really like it. This part right here has got a little bit of a line there, so I'm going to smooth that out. And then we're going to move on to the hands, arms, and legs with this same color combo, of course. Otherwise, she would look rather funny. So E000, I'm going to put that on her hands. She is growling at the dinosaurs. She is funny. Then her little midriff is showing, so we're going to color that in skin tone as well, and her little legs. And I just love those little boots that she's wearing. They're just super cute. Okay, so back to the shadow color, which is RB95. So while we're coloring this, and now we're going to follow the same exact sequence that we did already, I want to ask, has anybody watched that movie Candy on Hulu? I'm very curious. I just started watching it. I'm not even quite through the first episode, and I just want to get someone else's opinion of it, if they've watched it or what they thought. Because so far it looks like it's going to be pretty good. You've watched it already? What did you think? Did you like it? Was it good all the way through? It started out kind of slow. I've started it a few times, and it just looked kind of weird to me, so I wasn't sure. But I was watching it right before I came live, and I was like, oh, I really want to get through at least the rest of this episode, because it's starting to get really intense. And you know what's really freaky about it is that I'm watching it, and this guy calls somebody and says, I'm gonna need the Wiley Police Department. And I could have swore earlier they had said something about Plano. And so I was like, that's weird, because Plano's pretty close to where I live. And then when they said Wiley, I was like, Wiley is really close to where I live. Like 10 minutes and you can be in Wiley, or less. So I was like, is this based on a story up here? Is weird, but true story. Oh, see? True story. Had to have happened up here. It's the only place I know of that would be up here. And well, I'm interested to watch it then. And I'm already curious as to what the heck is happening. It is definitely intriguing, for sure. So I was just wondering if what anybody else thought. I'm glad I wasn't the only one intrigued by the true crime. Yes, in the Dallas area. That's what I thought. Yep. So Wiley is very close to me. And then Plano is just a little bit further than that. So I think she was like at church or something when she said Plano, and then Wiley when they called the police. It's crazy when you're watching something and all of a sudden it's right by you. You're like, what? What? Alright, so now we have little hands and legs colored. They're so super cute. I love it. Okay, so see, that was pretty quick and kind of painless. Oh, well, we probably don't want to forget her belly. So let's go in with the RV95. I'm just going to do the area that's closest to her arm and shadowed by her arm, and maybe just a tad on the top. What's the name of it? It's called Candy. Just Candy. It's on Hulu, and it's one of those, you know, Mom, it's one of those like a mini-series type things, so there's several episodes of it. So I'm only on the first one. The first episode, but it doesn't hesitate. It jumps right on in, full feet ahead. And there's my E00. Yep, Candy. That's it, just Candy. I guess that was the lady's name. That was her name, so it's kind of about her, I think. Okay, so I think I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see this a little bit. You don't have Hulu? Oh, Mom, for reals? Well, we'll have to help you out with that. So R83 is what I'm going to use next, because I'm going to do her tongue. And I needed darker than E11 for the back part of her tongue. And then I'm going to go in with the R11 and finish her tongue. I just want it to be a little bit of a two-tone tongue. So that's why I chose to use two different colors. Hi, Michelle. So I'm going to go back in with the R83 one more time and just deep and dark that all the way back into her mouth. So you can't see it quite as well, but if I hold it up, you'll be able to tell. See how it's darker in the back and lighter in the front? That was what I wanted to happen. So I needed two colors for that. R83 and R11. R11 matches the cheeks. And then I think next I'm going to go for the little bone in her hair. So I'm going to do E43, E51, and then E40. So E43 first, and I'm going to do that what's closest to her hair. And then I'm just going to touch a little dot where the bone indents. It's very tiny, so you could really, if you wanted to, you could really use just one color. It's kind of up to you. I'm going to put just a little bit of this E51 so I can get that more natural bone look. And then I'm going to go over it with E40 just to smooth it out, make sure it has the consistency of bone in her hair. It's not really going to be that obvious right now, but once we color the hair, the bone will stand out. So we will be good. So I bet you can't guess what color we're doing her hair. Yep, purple. I'm just on a purple hair kick these days. BV08, V17, V06, and V04. So this is going to be a pretty bright purple, which I doubt they would have had that back in the caveman days. But hey, she could have put some blueberries in her hair and tried to make it purple. So I'm going to do the shadow areas, so the parts closest to her head first. This is a pretty dark purple, like meaning it's pretty dark, not it's a pretty dark purple, but it's dark. So I'm just going to make some of these lines a little more emphasized than what the artist did. And my husband decided to watch TV real loud for a minute. So that's kind of the bottom of her hair, how I'm going to do the bottom purple. Yep, purple, because I can't help myself. And then I'm going to do, kind of follow some of these artist drawn lines up here and sort of give her a hairline right here because there's not really one there. I'm also going to come out just a little bit from where this bone is wrapped in her hair, because it's wrapped up in there and I want to show some shadowing on that. And then I'm going to do a little bit here on her hair. Kind of build that, continue to build that hairline because there's not really a defined hairline. And then right close to her face. I do want to put just like a little teeny tiny brush stroke right there. I'm going to do a little one here and a couple of little ones from the back of her hair. But they are pretty tiny. So you definitely want to hold your marker upright so you can get the tiniest of little lines. And I'm going to do the same thing on the underside of her eyebrows. Because you know, if she's cool enough to figure out how to dye her hair purple back then she's cool enough to have purple eyebrows too. Okay, V17 is next. She's a pretty smart gal for back in the prehistoric days. So I'm going to start the same as I did before. I'm going to be extending out from where I put those darkest colors, kind of mixing them up a little bit. This is such a tiny image that you don't have to color that much. And if you don't want to put all this detail in, you don't have to. But I wanted to show you that even with teeny tiny, you can still get quite a bit of detail in there. Just barely touching the paper with my marker, holding it upright so I get very tiny brush strokes. So just a few little tricks of the trade on how it works, how you get those little bitty lines. But honestly, it's so small, no one would even know how many colors you used on it. I'm funny tonight. I'm entertaining tonight. I'm feeling entertaining for you guys tonight. There we go. Super cute, huh? I've had enough seriousness, so we're just going to be funny tonight. We're just going to be entertaining. Look at that cute hair. We have 2 colors in there. We're going to put 2 more. Now, this is more like the purple that I have in my hair right now. Although it's, you know, I'm not going to lie. It's starting to fade. So I kind of have blonde, purple, red hair right now. So it's a little bit of a strange color right now. Hello, Andrea. And I'm getting more compliments now than when I first dyed it. So I'm like, I don't know. To me, I looked in the mirror and I was like, my hair looks like it's turning purple gray. So I was like, we got to do something about this. I can't be having gray hair. I'm not that old. And, I mean, I did just have a birthday and I want to be younger, not older. So, so I called my hairstylist, and Friday morning, before I go to the show Friday night, she's going to do my hair again to bring the purple back, because it fades really fast. You have to get it done kind of often, but it's not real expensive to go in and just touch up the color. It's just when you have to actually bleach so that the purple will hold on the blonde when it's more expensive. So see how that purple changes the tone to a little bit brighter. V04 is gonna do even more of that. Oh, I stuck this cap on that end and it didn't fit on there right. It was really, really tight. Okay, so next one. Oh, you let your hair grow out and it's gray? Some people look really good with gray hair. I am not one of them. I don't even like it the way it is right now. So I'm going to fill in the rest of the white with this purple, which is pretty bright. I like it that way, though. If I could get my hair this color, I would do it in a heartbeat. But we can't seem to get that. It's hard enough to get any of the purple to stay for any length of time. But if you put the fuchsia in it, it comes out a little bit like this, but not a lot. Okay, so I'm going to blend out her eyebrows. I'm going to have to go back in with that second color because I missed it on her eyebrows and now it looks funny. I want her eyebrows to be just slightly darker than the rest of her hair. She got big bushy eyebrows. I guess she doesn't have my lady that waxes mine. No waxing back then. Oh, still not used to it, but saving you money, that is so true. It really does save money. More silver than gray? Well, that's better. Do blue and purple. I have a friend that does that and it looks awesome. Oh, that's a good idea. I mean, we did put a blue base on it this time, but it didn't help keep it the purple we were hoping it would. Wow, when the pandemic hit, huh? It is saving you money. That you know, that's important. That is very important. Okay, so up close, this is a really pretty purple right here. I super duper like it. And I don't know why I only have one fang tooth going on there, but it's funny. I guess I couldn't get my teeth crowned like I did the other day if I was back then. Yes, you should. Send me a picture of that so I can see it. Okay, so now you can see that little bone in her hair a whole lot better than you can tell it's colored. So I'm choosing, thank you. I love that hair too. It's definitely one of my favorite color mixes of hair. I decided to use a brownish color for Right, purple hair because, you know, purple. I decided to use these brown shades for the outfit. So 79, 77, 74, 71, and 70. So this is the whole sequence of E70s. But we're going to do it, we're going to mix it up a bit. So her boots are going to be darker than the rest of her outfit. So I am going to actually start with her boots, because I like really dark boots. So I'm going to do the bottom of the boot on both of them. I'm going to do the inside, the little piece in the back right there that's the inside of the boot. And then where it folds over, like that. And then I'm going to come in just a little bit from all the way from just the back of the boots, where the least amount of light would hit on those boots. And then I'm going to come in with E77, but because this image is so tiny and the pieces are so tiny, I'm not going to use all 5 colors on all the sections. I'm just going to use these 5 colors in different sequence. So this one is 77. So I'm just kind of going over where I put the darkest one and extending it out a little bit. I might do this one a little bit like that. Hi, Chrissy. E74 is next. And I'm going to do most of the rest of this one in E74. I'm going to leave just a tiny bit for highlight on the top of her boot. On both of them. Just a little tiny highlight area. Where did I get the copic holder? My husband designed it and made it for us to sell in the Sweet Sentiment shop. So it looks like this. It holds 5 colors and the caps, so you can see. Yeah, he's kind of amazing. He watches me work and then comes up with ideas, and he was like, do you think this would help you to hold the markers? And I was like, yeah, especially on a live. So this is the lightest color, so I skipped the 71 because I want to leave a little highlight on the top of her boot. And because this is the lightest color, it has a lot of alcohol in it, so it will leave it on. Oh, you're heading to bed early, but you wanted to say hi? Ooh, you're going to have to watch the replay because we're about to make 4 cards. It's going to be super fun. How much? Oh, goodness. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but... and I can't look because I am filming with my phone. Hold on, let me pull my iPad real quick and I can tell you how much it is. I want to make a guess, but I'm afraid I might be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. So let me just pull it up on my iPad real quick. Hold, please. It'll only take me a second. I know exactly where to go in the shop to pull it up. It's $8.99, and that was exactly what I was going to say. And we have it in all different colors. I just have the pink one here. I want a purple one, but you know, when your hubby makes them and then, you know, ships them out to Sweet Sentiment, you don't always get what you want. So I got, these are the prototypes, the ones that he was doing when he was first making them out, and those are the ones I ended up with. But it's super handy, it's very sturdy, and I have 2 of them on my desk. They look a little different because this was the first prototype, and then we decided to make them more solid. And now we're putting the solid in between all of them. So these are the 2 prototypes, but I always have 2 on my desk so I can prep the next set of color combos, but this is the last one for this one. But it's, yeah, it's super handy. It helps keep where you are in the sequence, and when you're live, it helps people be able to see what color you're working on when you're working on it. Yep, that's right. Pink and purple. Purple are the ones I want, but I haven't gotten them yet. Okay, so I'm going to put E79 in very, very small amount on here. So I'm going to put a little bit of it here up underneath her leg. And I'm going to put a little bit of it here for the back of her shirt. And right here where her hand is over, and right here. And that's it. I'm not going to put very much of this. Well, maybe I just lied. I'm going to put a couple of small lines to show some folds in this skirt a little bit, like that. Okay, E77 is going to be next. This one will do just a little bit more than we did the last time. So we're going to do kind of down from her waist a little bit. Some of the brush strokes will be longer and some will be shorter because I want to show a pattern within this little skirt. Also leaving some spaces in between. So this will make her skirt look more more textured. And her shirt, I'm not going to do the same way. So I want them to look just a little bit different. So I'm going to go right underneath her hand here. I don't want to go in between her fingers just yet because it might make her fingers kind of look like they're blending together. So I'm going to wait and do that with the next color. So the next one is E74. So I'm going to start with the skirt. I'm going to finish off this piece that's underneath. I'm going to go around the outside. This is our third color, so more of a true. I'm going to use a little bit more of this color than I used of the other ones. I start filling in those empty spaces that I left down here so that we have solid color at the bottom of that little skirt. I got a hair on my copic marker. Okay, so I'm going to do the rest of what's directly under her hand because that's going to be pretty dark. Around her collar, a little bit over here. And then I'm going to stop and I'm going to move on to E71. And I might finish off with E71. I haven't decided. I might not go all the way to E70 unless I desperately need some highlights. So I'm going to use a little bit of this back and forth motion. I am barely touching the paper because I want to leave this really light and I don't want to lose that texture. So just really light, and the more color you put on it, the more it's going to blend and look more solid and look more blended together. It's going to look less of a texture. So I'm not going to go over it anymore because I want to leave that texture on there. But now up here, I'm going to lay the marker down a little bit on the side so I get more ink on the paper, because I want her top to be smooth and her skirt to not be smooth. Like that. So right now, I don't know if you can see, look at that little thing on the end of my marker. You see that? I don't know what that is. I don't even know how that happens, but it happens sometimes with my markers. And when you have that, it doesn't color very well on the paper. So one time I tried to snip it off and that makes everything worse. So I'm living with it for now. I just got my new nibs in the mail today. I was almost out, so I was trying to use them sparingly. And I'll probably replace it because that little tip's going to drive me crazy. Okay. So I'm going to use my white gel pen and just put the little whites of her eyes in there. I like to make sure it's flowing on my finger before I touch the paper. But this is the only the only gel pen that I can get that tiny of dots with. I just love this white gel pen. We have it in the shop. If you ever go to the shop and we don't have it, it's from Pear Blossom Press. So just click on my favorite things on the website and it will give you a link to Pear Blossom Press site so you can pick it up. So there we go. Now we have this sweet little girl all colored up and she is super happy. She's roaring at all the dinosaurs. Okay, so we're done with coloring tonight. That was a lot of colors for a little bit of space, but doesn't she just look adorable? So what we're going to do next is I'm going to zoom out and we're going to start working on the card for this one. And then we'll roll into the next three. And they're kind of set up, so I think you guys, you're really going to like them. I've already cut the paper, so you don't have to worry about watching me do cutting of paper and stuff. But I'll tell you what sizes they are. In case you want to make it too, I'm going to keep this handy because we're going to use some of the sentiments from that on this one when we get done. But when I first came live, thanks, I'm so glad you like her. When I first came live, I was cutting out. So I stamped this on Gina Marie masking tape. And I just found a spot I didn't cut off so well. So I'm going to fix that a little bit right now. Okay, so all I did was stamp her exactly the same as she was. And then we're going to just peel off the back and stick it on there. She does have one tooth. I think they didn't have dentists back then. All right. I got to peel the back off. It shouldn't be that hard, but it is proving to be a pain right now. Okay, there we go. And then this is reusable, so we're going to use it this time, and then we'll stick it on the stamp set and use it again another time. It's very low tack. So because I stamped it with the same stamp, it lays right over top. I think maybe I'll work on the face first. Lays right over top of her perfectly. Just like that. So now she looks uncolored. She does have one tooth. Isn't that crazy? So this paper is a little bit slick. So when you stamp, it kind of blurs the black. But it doesn't matter because all we really... Oh, wrong way. All we really care about is getting it on there so we can play with the background. Okay. So, there we go. Here's what I was thinking. I was thinking we would take this stencil and use it. So, gonna open it up. And I don't know if you guys have, but I have pixie spray, and that's what I'm gonna use to hold my stencil in place. I love this stuff called pixie spray. See? Pixie spray. It's a light tack adhesive, repositionable adhesive or whatever. And I'm going to actually put it on the back of the, a little bit on the back, not much, but a little bit. So it'll hold my paper still while I stencil color. And then I'm going to put it on the stencil as well. I also use this for, I use this for my plate from my brother's Scan and Cut. And I use it to make it re-sticky. It's amazing. Like I've had it for a while and I didn't use it. But now, I mean, look, it sticks on here. So it won't move around when we work with it. If you want, you can tape those down too, but I don't really think we need to since we have the pixie spray on there. So we did I mean, I love it. I use it all the time. And you can use it for a lot of stuff. So since she's purple hair and brown, we can be really handy with whatever colors of oxides we want. So I chose spun sugar, salvage patina, and twisted citron. These are the three colors that I chose to work with tonight. So I'm going to try to sit them over here so you guys can still see the names of the colors in the picture while I'm working. I decided just these three, so you should definitely try it, Michelle. I bet you would love it. Okay, so there's our others. These are the three oxides we're going to use tonight, right, with this particular project. I'm going to put them off to the side so you won't be able to see them that well when I'm working with them, but I have the rabbit hole design brushes. They look like this. They look a little bit worn, but I put the stickers that you can get on the Ranger site that you can use to stick on the containers so you can label them. Mine's upside down because I store mine I slide them in and store them upside down so the ink stays on the top of the pad instead of sinking down to the bottom. So I store them upside down so I put the words on there upside down. So I can read them and don't have to turn my head upside down to try to read it. Okay, so I'm going to take the lightest color first, which is spun sugar. I do have one of these for every I have one brush for every color. Call me crazy. It's okay. I don't mind. This is going to shake a little bit because my camera is sitting on my desk, but I will try to make it the least amount of shake as possible. So I don't know if you can tell, but in this design, this is like the bird footprints, which is why I turned it around so that it would be going in the upright position. But yes, you can. They're free. You just, yeah, Ranger tags are on the Ranger site. Yes, they are. They have them for their oxides. They have them for their distress inks. And you just go to the site and you can just download the label and print it out on sticky paper. And like, you know, like I say sticker paper. Or you can use double-sided sticky tape and put it on the back of yours and then print the labels and then cut them out. So you have options. And yes, they're free. They're just on the site. You can just go and pick them out, find them, download them, and then you're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to use next the Salvage Petunia or Patina or whatever it is. I don't know. I hate confusing words. Can we just say, I just name them myself. So there's one called, what's it called? There's one that I've renamed for sure. It's like, it's one of the purple ones. Or maybe it's a pink one. But I call it the wrong name every single time I say it. I don't know why the names have to be so complicated. Why couldn't we just say, like, Pretty Teal? Or, you know, Precious Pink. Or something easy. Why is it gotta be so complicated? Okay, so whenever I do the oxides, I always go back and forth. So I'm going to go back over with the pink now and blend a little better between the pink and the blue. If you need to, keep a paper on the side handy so you can clean it off if you need to. If you get too much blue, like see there's blue on there, but what I'll do is when I'm done, I'll go and rub that blue off of there, and then it won't show when I do the next project. It works really good. And sometimes I'll take an excess piece of paper and just rub that color all over it, and then I'll make a background out of that paper so I'm not wasting the ink. And this one was touching up against a purple one, but it doesn't matter. It's all good, and you can wash them out. Somebody said you can wash them out in the sink. I don't ever do it. That way if I just need to do like the border of something, I can just pull these out of the case I have them sitting in and just use it. I don't even have to get the color out because I just already have ink on the brush. So it works really good for me. I'm going to come in just a little bit along here. I'm not going to put a whole lot of this in there. Just a little bit. And then we'll do the bottom again. This one is very juicy compared to the other ones. I've had my oxides for quite some time, so they are a little bit on the drier side. But I'll have to invest in some refills, but I just haven't done it yet. I mean, you're kidding. I'm trying to keep up with my Copic refills. I don't have time to figure out how much for all these refills too. I don't use them quite often enough like I do with my Copics. So, yeah. So it's going to look like it's bursting out. That was kind of what I was going for. So then, after you do your picture, I used to do them with those. You can see, I used to do them, I would Velcroed them on there. But I don't use them anymore because they don't work nearly as well as these brushes do. So I just went and bought all the brushes, but some of the little things are stuck on there. So whenever I hold my oxides like that, they're all upside down because I store them like this so that you can read them and they're keeping the ink on the top of them. Okay, so the good thing is when you don't use any washi tape, you don't have to take any off. You just pick this up and peel it off of the paper. This is the wow that Jamie loves so much. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? That's super awesome. Hey, honey? Dale? I'm going to ask him to clean off my stuff. Okay, so I'm going to pick this up. It was, of course, a little tacky on the back, too. And then I'm just going to take a wet wipe and wipe off my desk real quick so that I don't get these colors on the others. So just wet wipes. Hey, can you rinse this off? Because I need to use it again in a little bit for a different one with different colors. Thanks. Dry it a little bit after you wet it. Okay. So I usually stick them in Windex, like in a Ziploc baggie of Windex, and just let them sit there, and all the color comes off, and it cleans them for me, and I don't have to scrub them. But if I'm going to use it again right away, that doesn't really work because then it's wet, and so hubby's going to help me tonight. So I really like it. I think it's super duper cute. You can see the bones really well right here. I really like it. So now here, let's do this. Oh, I love it. Look at that. Isn't that awesomely cute right there? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little girl and put her over the package like this. And then if I ever want to do this again, I can reuse that. So I got that little trick from Jamie. She just puts them on there and keeps them. And I was like, ooh, that's such a good idea. Then I don't have to cut it out again. So it's super handy. You just stick it in there, put it in there, back in the package, and you're good to go. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm thinking a purple background for the card. Let's see if I have any already cut out. Ooh. It would be surprising if I didn't have any purple cut out. Voila. Nope, not the right purple. Hold tight. Hang 10 a minute. That one's better. Not right, but better. I may have to go with that one if I don't have another one. Okay, one more shot. Oh no, two more. We got two more chances. Oh, so much better. That one's too light. Okay, so that one purple was too pinky purple. I think this one's much, much better. So I really like that. I don't think that I have cut this paper down yet, so I'm going to have to trim it. This is the only trimming and paper cutting we're going to have to do is this card, because I didn't know what I was going to do with it until I got started. So I am definitely going to have to put the sentiments on there, and I know exactly what I want to put on there. So all I have to do is pull the set out that I need. That says, I think it's on this one that I already have planned to use for another one. Nope, not that one. Oh, yep, I found it. Okay, so I love it. I love that background. It is super duper awesome. It's that stencil came out way better than I could have anticipated. Okay, so I'm going to trim this up a little bit. What is my trimmer? Here it is. I have a Tim Holtz trimmer. So my card is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to trim this one down to 4, but I'm going to take a little bit off of each side so it's not uneven. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the top and the bottom. It's actually, I'll just take half of it there. Just kind of eyeballing it. Now it's 5 1/4. Okay. So I just took like a very small sliver off of all the sides, and then I'll just throw that away. I mean, we could use it for something else, but it's too tiny and too much trouble for me. Okay. So I'm gonna fold my card. They're already scored because that's the way I make my card bases. I get them all kinds of ready. Gonna use my espresso. Okay. And then she's gonna fit on there. Oh my gosh. Like that. Super cute. So I wanted to do that before I put the sentiment on here because I didn't want to put the sentiment somewhere where it was gonna look terrible. So I'm actually going to put 2 sentiments on here. I'm going to put the Roar sentiment that's in this set because she is roaring. So I'm going to say, I'm probably going to stamp it more than once, like maybe here, here, and here. Because I think that'd be really cute. And then down here, I'm going to put this one that says, the reality is you either step into the future or you become a dinosaur. And I think that's really cute with her roaring. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. So I'm going to use, I usually use Memento ink, but this time I'm going to use VersaFine because it's really, really, it's like onyx. It's like a really deep, dark black. And I'm done coloring, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp with this darkest one. It's called VersaFine Onyx Black. Because I want it to be really super duper dark. Especially since we're doing it over oxide colors. So I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to use my espresso. And yes, I keep changing colors of espressos because I have several on my desk. And when I can't find one, I pick up the other one. That is super cute, but it didn't solidly stamp it. So I'm going to do it one more time. I want it to be very solid. These are new stamps. I haven't stamped the sentiments yet, so that might be why. There we go. Perfect. I'm not going to have to worry about the stamp, putting the stamp sets away, but I am going to have to clean them off because I'm going to have to use my Misty again for a different one. So I'm just wiping it with water, nothing fancy, and then I'm setting the stamps aside and I'll put them away when we're not live. So I clean off the stamp, wipe it on my hand because I don't want any water on it. I don't want it to activate the oxide on here. So if you spray water on the oxides, it will activate it. And I don't want to do that. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Wanda. I don't know where I got Wendy from. I know better than that. Okay, so just putting this color. Oh, did you see what I almost did? Eeks. That probably would have gone on my paper too. That would have been really sad. But it's just paper. We would have just trimmed it off and done something else with the rest of it. And we'd have been good. So maybe just two. Rawr, rawr. I think that's perfect. I think another one might be too much, so I'm only going to go with two this time. Okay, I'm going to put that aside. Now this is my stamp chamois. It's a little wicked right now, but it still works, so it goes in my case. It's got holes in it so it can breathe, so it won't ever be stinky and can still dry. Love it. Let's take her out of here. Okay, putting my Misty aside for now. Close this ink before I stick my arm, hand, and everything else in it. And then I'm going to use this Barely Art glue. Love it. Seriously, it's one of my favorite things in the shop. And I am not a glue fan. I don't use glue of any other type ever. And I no longer use tape runners either. I just use Barely Art glue. And then sometimes I will use double-sided sticky tape. But most of the time, it's Barely Art glue. It's my favorite. There we go. It's on there. Just going to press it lightly and then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to rub my espresso over it to make sure it's sealed on there without smearing any of my nice work I did. Flip it back over. And now we're going to add a little bit of bling to it. You guys know I have a lot of bling because I showed it to you last night. So I just need to find one that matches. And I think it should be glittery. Look at that. That's awesome. I'm going to use that one. So these are the old dots we had in the shop called Gina Marie Designs. They didn't have a name on them of what type they were. But now we have these. Same colors, still created by Gina Marie, but now the packaging and stuff is all ours. So Irish Sparkle we've named them. So they have the names on them. They're easy to find. They're easy to have, and no more buying duplicates because you don't know what color went with what. So we tried to make that a little bit easier. Gonna use my tweezers that I got online from Amazon, super cheap. And I'm going to place some of these on the card, just kind of randomly. I like to do them in sets of 3. It's really important to me. But size, it doesn't matter to me what size they are as long as there's 3 of them. But I'm also going to add some down here. So if I'm going to do that, then I'm only going to add 2, because then that will make it 5. Again, an odd number needs to be an odd number. It just makes me feel better that way. That's the way I roll. So there we go. So now we have this RAR card, and it says the reality is you either step into the future or you become a dinosaur. Super cute. So I always put a white piece on the inside so we can write on it when we give it away to someone. My cards don't sit here. They either go on display at the show or they get mailed to someone or sold. Those are the 3 options. They usually go out the door. I have a ton at my house, but I make a ton, so. All right, so flip it over, put my name on the back, sign it, and it is done. This pen doesn't work very well, so we're going to use this one instead. Jamie got me a new stamp. Look, it's me. See? Super cute, huh? There we go. So that's 1 down. We're making 4 tonight. That's 1 down. Next one we're going to move on to is also going to have some oxiding background on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one next. And I pulled out the pieces so you can see what I used, because I've already done any die cutting or cutting the paper down or whatever I did ahead of time. So you wouldn't have to wait for me to go over to the die cut machine and do it. It's too late for that. It's too late at night to be going over to the die cut machine. Okay, so I couldn't find my stencil, so my husband made me one out of paper. Because I designed it and we manufacture them here, so, and then I found it and I was like, oops, sorry I made you do that, but oh well. Okay, so these are my pieces. I have this, was from the Stamps of Life. It's, you put it together like this and you die cut it out so that you get a frame like this. Dun 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 dun. So that's what I did. I cut that out. It also cut all these and these pieces, but we're not going to use those. We're just going to use this border right here. So this is what I used. So I cut that out. I found me a stamp set I want to use. It's not a Sweet Sentiment one, but that's okay. We're going to use this dinosaur that we colored the other night. The brown, orangey, red one. We're going to use these dinosaur bones with it. I cut me out a piece of grass. I'll show you this die in a little bit because I used it on another card too. So actually, I'll show you now. So I have this thing right here. And what I did was I cut it out. Look, this, you're going to laugh when you see this, but so I cut the grass out and then I just cut off the paper and used the other side so that I wouldn't have, so I could get 2 pieces of grass out of the same die. It's crazy, but I try to get the most out of my stuff. So if you've never tried that, it looks just as good this way as it does when you cut it out like this. So this is what it actually looks like. This is the top piece that came out of it. So I use the bottom and the top. Little trick that you could use. I want to make a little scene up here in this window box right here. So I am going to put the grass right here along the bottom. So I'm just going to glue that on. So I'm going to put the glue here because I think that'll be easier than putting the glue on this and messing it up. So I'm going to lay that down. I definitely don't want it to go into these little boxes at the bottom, so I have to be really careful when I place it on here to make sure I place it in the right spot. Once I pick up the paper, I have a second or two to move it with barely art glue, and then it's going to be stuck. This is the back side, so it doesn't matter what you can see, what you can't see. And then I am just going to snip off these edges right here. And now we have this window with the grass at the bottom. Okay, so here is the oxide part I'm going to do. Okay, so we're done with the oxides we used earlier, so I don't need those brushes anymore. We are currently going to use, I have walnut stain, I almost said satin, walnut stain, and spiced marmalade are the two colors I chose for this next step. And the reason why I chose such a dark brown and dark orange is because I'm going to put it on our craft paper. So this is Sweet Sentiment craft paper. People use it for pencil coloring, but I'm going to use it today for my oxide. So what I did was I decided I wanted it to only, I'm going to stencil on it, but I don't want it to go below this line because I don't want it to be in these windows. I only want it to be in the top window. So I measured how big the top window was, and it's 2 1/4. So I'm just going to mark that with a pencil real quick. So 2 1/4 right here. And then I'm going to line this up. I'm going to use my Tim Holtz glass mat to line this up for me so I don't mess it up. Let's make sure we're on the line. And then I'm just going to draw a line across here so I know where to stop with the stencil. So that's it. That's pretty simple. It's not a lot of measuring, but I wanted to know where to stop when I did the stencil. So I might actually put, you know how sometimes when you're stenciling it kind of goes over the edges? So I think I'm going to put these sticky notes down here just to make sure I don't go in that window area because I really don't want to. So I'm just going to put these on here. And then I'm going to put my stencil, and now I can decorate this up here. And I couldn't decide at first if I wanted to do it going this way or if I wanted to do it going this way. So I'm going to look at it, eyeball it real quick, and see what I think. I think the other way. I think it needs to go this way. Yep, that's what I think. So I'm going to do that. Alrighty, so that right there. Okay, so I'm going to spray a little bit of this pixie spray on here again because my hubby washed it off. There we go. I'm going to get that positioned on there pretty close to where I wanted it to be. Then I'm going to use my espresso to press it down. I'm going to flip it over so I can put some of this pixie spray on the back to hold it still while it's on the table. You don't need a whole lot when you're just sticking a piece of paper to the table, otherwise it gets really stuck. Okay, so just pressing that down. Now we have our two oxides and a lot of junk on our desk. So I'm going to start moving a little bit off so you guys can still see these colors. Now you see how yucky my covers look? That's because I was putting those dots on the bottom and then stacking them up, and it messed up all my covers. But the inks are still the same, so it is what it is. They're messed up, but that's okay. They still work just the same. Okay, so I'm going to use the brown closest to the bottom and the orange towards the top, just because I want it to look more sunset-ish, if you will. So this is going to be pretty subtle on this paper because it is brown paper already. And I did not test this before I went live. I just decided what I wanted to do, not how I wanted to do it. So I really have no idea how this will come out. The surprise will be for both of us when we lift up the stencil. Then we will both see it at the same time. I wasn't sure what this was going to look like on brown paper, but I thought, what the heck? Why not try it? It's just paper. If I don't like it, I can just get another piece of paper. That's why we always hold on to backstock at our houses. Hoarding paper. So you don't have to be real worried about your paper. Just going to go along the edge right here with the brown one again, just to smooth out that edge. And then I'm going to lift it up. Oh, look at that. That's super cool. I love stencils. I should do more stencils, I think. Sometimes I get on a stencil kick and I'll stencil all day, doing all kinds of different stuff. This is oxides, so it activates, so you can see it activating when you wet it. So it just cleans right off your desk, super easy. Okay. If we wanted, I could actually show you how it activates. So if you let it sit for a minute or two, it's already starting. Can you see it? It's already starting to activate the different. And then you can do it with your heat tool, or you can do a napkin like this to just kind of pick up the water. And there you go. All kinds of different little splotches on there, which is kind of super cool. This actually, this brown looks cool on this orange sticky note. Okay, so now look at that. Now you have exactly the way you want it on a half of paper. Awesome sauce. So then this will fit right on top of there, and look at that. You have a whole scene behind there now. Almost looks like a volcano exploding. Super awesome. Let's see. Yeah, let's go ahead and put this piece on here. So I'm going to put this frame on there, right over top of what we just did. I'm going to try to get a little bit on here. It dries clear, so if it oozes out, I don't really care. I just want to get a little bit on these little grass thingies. Okay, here we go. I'm going to line up the edge over here and hope that the rest lines up. I did use the die cut to cut the brown piece underneath, but it kind of folded the paper up a little bit, so I went back and just cut it. So I hope it lines up perfectly, but we can trim it if it doesn't. So it's off just a smidge. So I'm going to flip it over because there's so much stuff on it, and see, I had already measured it 2 1/4. Okay. So all we have to do is take our scissors and trim where that card's peeking out on the edge. So yeah, even regular crafters do this. If you can't measure exactly perfect. Never said I was perfect, and it is 11 o'clock at night, so, you know. I craft great at night, but I would say that sometimes I'm a little off. Hopefully I'm still making you guys laugh. Okay. Ta-da! Okay, so that's part 1. So then I have these, and I cut this matting. It's like, I think it's 2 inches by 1 inch. I can't remember for sure. Yep. The black is 2 by 1 1/4. The white is 1 3/4 by 1. So it's just a matting for this one. I don't want to stick it together just yet because we're going to stamp on it. So I chose this stamp set right here that says happy birthday to you. This is again another new stamp set, so I'm just going to put it on my hand to kind of get some of the residue from manufacturing off of it. And then I also want to put sending all my love on there. I'm going to put it up here. And then I'm going to put this one on here. So here we go. Let's stamp it up. Stamp it all up. Here we go. So sending all my love. Right here. I hate when they stick to my nails like that. And then this one, I don't have enough room on there to stamp this one, so I'll have to do that next. Since we already have this one in here. Gonna use VersaFine again, just like I did earlier. Stamping that on there. So sending all my love. Press it with my espresso. There we go. Voila, sending all my love. Amazing. So now we can just pull this out again. Wipe off that stamp. Put it aside with the others, and I'll put it away afterwards. We can take this out. So we're done stamping that. Put this one in. I knew that was going to happen. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. I want to make sure I got it centered in there. There we go. Oops, you probably couldn't see me doing that. So sorry. I just centered the stamp. Make sure I get it stamped on there. I'm going to put it on here. Just going to press it with my espresso. There we go. Happy birthday to you. It worked. So I'm going to clean off the stamp because I don't like leaving any ink on my stamp sets. Ever. Lay it aside. And there we go. Okay. So now we can put this on this black paper. I am going to use my tweezers so I can line it up really good. I am eyeballing it because most of what I do, I'm just eyeballing it. There we go. Flip it over, press it down with the espresso. Make sure all the glue is on there, holding it well, and there we go. So now we have a sentiment. I'm going to close this because I have been known to stick my entire elbow into the ink pads. I know my weaknesses. Okay, I chose this color, card base, because I thought it was better than a bright orange because it makes the bright orange stand out. I am going to put this on there. All right. We're going to eyeball centering that. Good luck with that. Perfect. Flip it over. Press it down. This is a great use for your espresso. Make sure you're using it because you will love it. There we go. Perfect. So this little guy is going to be walking in the grass. I glued some of the grass down because I want some of it to be, his feet to be in front of some of it and behind some of it. So I didn't glue it all down. Just want it to kind of be, I got to find my good spot of where I want it to be. Probably down here. So I'm going to lift that one up. I will glue it on top and we'll be all good. Just like that. So I'm going to put him in the grass. I'll lift that up so I remember where I had him. Just going to put glue on the back of him. Going to glue him down. There we go. Just going to place him down in here. I'll probably put a little bit of glue on the back of these just to hold them down. These ones that I made stick up. It does dry clear, so if you get too much on there or on the outside, it isn't going to matter because you won't have to worry about that. But I am going to put a little bit under here because I do want these to lay down pretty good. Just going to hold them for a second. There we go. Then I'm going to wipe the glue off that got on there. See? No glue residue. Look, I'll even hold it close. No glue residue. Amazing. That background is awesome up there. I love it. So you don't always have to do the whole thing and you don't have to make it really obvious or really pronounced. So it's just up to you. So now these little bones, just going to put glue on the back of them. I'm going to put one on this side in this little square. I'm going to put one on the other side. You guys still awake? I got 7 people still awake with me. Awesome sauce. Okay, so we got bones, sending all my love, and now we're going to say happy birthday, but we're going to pop that up so it stands out a little bit from the rest. So these are my sweet pops that you can get in the shop. I cut them apart and stick them in a jar to make them easier. Easier to handle, easier to access. Everything is just easier. I turn it over, make sure there's no spots where it folds down too much in case I have to put another sweet pop on there. But I think 3 will do it. Slippery little suckers. Just going to pull these off. Being a little finicky tonight. It's these fingernails are getting too long for me. I'm going to use this because it helps me eyeball where I want to put this. So there we go. Super awesome. Okay, number 2 down. Oh, look at what I did. I put it all upside down. Son of a whiskey bottle. So you know what we're going to do, right? I'm going to show you the easiest fix for that. Oh, I did this on purpose so you could see. Oh, you like it? I'm so glad you like it. So I have another cardstock. So what I'm going to do is take this. I'm going to trim the card off. This is how I fix when I put it on backwards. This is how I fix it. So you guys are about to learn my cheat code. Cut that off. I'm going to cut the orange off of this side. I don't want to too far. Going to do the same thing on this side. Now you could frame it. Just kidding. Don't you hate it when this happens? I hate it when this happens. But now I have another piece of this orange cardstock I can use for something else. So I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to use my espresso. I'm going to burnish my edge of my card. And I'm about to show you guys how quick this is to fix. So now I'm going to put the inside of my card. Hey, all crafters do it. Jamie did it the other day. I did it now. I told her, just leave it. We'll use it in the shop. Well, I mean, we'll use it on display at the show. Nobody will know. Okay, so we have our inside piece in there now. I'm going to just press it down. Now I'm going to fold the card down and I'm going to put this back on there. It's just going to be slightly thicker because it has the paper doubled, but I'll just make it that much cuter. So I am okay with that. So look at how easy that was to fix. This is the easiest way that I have found to fix when you put the card on the wrong way. So we just eyeball this again, press it down. I missed one of these. Okay, gonna flip it over and I'm gonna press it down. So I want it to really stick good. Okay. And now we're back to where we were before. That took like a couple of seconds to do. Isn't that awesome? Totally fixed. No one will know the difference. You can't even tell really by looking at the side or the top. It just looks just like it did before. So stamp in the back. If nothing else, it's a little sturdier. Number 2. There you go. Number 2 down. So now we have roar and sending all my love. Happy birthday to you. So there's 2 of them. Okay, we got 2 more. You ready? Here we go. This is the next one. This is the one we're going to work on next. I did all the die cutting already. Here we go. I am going to show you the die cuts, though, so you can see them. This is grass. I don't really even remember where I got it from, but I like to use it. So I cut 2 of them. Cut this one and this one, and I didn't want to cut a third, so that's why I used the opposite side of it. So that was that die cut right there. And then we have this in the shop. It's called the egg die. It looks like an egg or an oval or a kind of circle or whatever you want to call it, an eyeball. whatever you want to call it. I chose this paper. It looks like a forest. And then this is the one we're going to do with all these little baby velociraptor eggs that we had the other night that we colored. All these little baby blues. Okay. Oh, and I threw some bones in there because I thought maybe we could use those bones again. So we're going to put this paper on here, and we're going to make sure it opens the right way before we get started, so I don't mess that up again. Nobody wants to watch me fix it again. Okay, here we go. Eyeballing that line up. I usually let go one side first and then lay it down, because usually if I have this side lined up, the rest will fall in place the way it's supposed to. Good night, Michelle. Check out the replay because you'll get to see the other card is interactive as well. This one is not, but the next one is interactive. So check out the replay and you can catch that one later. But good night. Okay, so I took this egg die and I cut it out 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Okay? And when it cuts out, it also cuts this center piece out as well. So this is the side I used to cut all of those. And this is the side I'm going to use for the inside. So we're going to make a nest to put these little velociraptor eggs in. So this is how it works. So you take this one, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in a couple of places so I can start layering this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and glue it down, and then we can do that part. You might need to glue this down first. This is going to be the inside of the egg basket. Then this one had glue on it already. Just in a couple of places. It might have already dried. You may have to wet it again. Just wherever they cross over is usually where I put it. So I'm just going to lay that down. Press it just a little bit. And then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to lay it the opposite way. So we're just making a nest, like almost like a bird nest. We kind of did this once before a while back with our dodo birds. Put the dodo bird in the nest. I liked it so much and it just kept popping in my head for these little velociraptors, so I decided we would do it again, and this time I would show you how I did it. So you're just layering up these little eggs. So we got 2. 2 would work, but 4 looks better. I just like 4 better. Okay, here we go. And it won't be, I mean, it'll have some spots that are not stuck to the card, but I'm okay with that. Because a nest has to be able to move around a little bit. I'm going to go back, and this time, the first time I laid it like this, and this time I'm going to lay it like this. So I'm kind of crossing them in an X. So the first one went that way, and then the second one flipped, and then this one will go this way, and then we'll flip the last one. And that just kind of layers up that to make it look more like a bird nest. And you could do more if you wanted to make it really dimensional, but I thought 4 worked really well for what I was doing. hope my daughter's play went well tonight. Tonight was opening night. Okay, so now we're going to go the opposite way that we just laid down. So I'm just going to press it down a little bit, make sure it gets a really good seal there. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do this to really press that nest down. So it looks like they're out in the woods. And then I want to put this grass here. I'm going to have to cut that down. So I know that my card is 4.25 wide, so I'm going to cut this to 4. Come on, finicky little thing. I'm going to cut from both sides just so I get a really clean edge on them. There we go. Alright, so now we have this little bit of grass to put right here. I cut 2 of them, but it looks like I might not need to, but we'll see. There we go. I'll put this along the bottom. This time I'm not going to glue any of the grass pieces down because I want them to kind of stand up. Stand up! Just lining it across the bottom of the paper and over the nest. I think I might only need 1, but we'll know once we put these in there. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we're going to put these little velociraptors in their little nest. And I don't know exactly how I'm going to place them in there, except for a couple of places I'm going to try to put them a little bit up underneath there. My magnet sticking to my... Okay, so I know I want that one right there. And actually I'm going to do the one where we left the eggshell on there in the back. Here we go. I'm going to hold it. Kind of press it underneath there. I want that to be under, a little bit under the nest. So it looks like it's coming over. I'll press that down. There we go. Now we're just going to decide. I think we're going to want this little guy. Let's see if any of this will lift up. Oh yeah, it will. So that'll be great. So I'm going to place that one kind of up there. And then this one, I'm going to pop him up a bit. Not all the way, like just at the top where his head is, so he seems like he's higher than the rest of them, if that makes sense. I'll show you, you'll see in a minute. Okay, so this is going to go up underneath there. There we go. I'm going to press it down with my espresso. Okay, so the last little guy, he's going to get a little bit of pop dot on like his head. You don't always have to pop the whole thing of something up. You can pop just a piece of it. So you just put glue on the bottom part. Just because you want to pop it up doesn't mean the whole thing has to be popped up. So I'm just going to slide this up underneath there. And then what's going to happen is this head is going to stick out higher. Let me press this down so that give the barely art glue a second to stay. And then you see how there's some dimension, so he's kind of sticking out. So this is all of them in the eggs. All the eggs in the basket. The mama put them. I took a few bones. This is 2 bones together. That I thought maybe I would kind of put around here. Kind of like it's a... That was my plan. So let's put some glue on them because I kind of like them there. I'm just burying some bones like they've been eating some dinosaurs. Here we go. I got a few white ones, a few brown ones, so we're going to kind of play with both. That's a little bit of, that's like instead of using bling, I decided to use this inside stuff that we use for sequins, however you want to say that. Okay, and the sentiment I wanted to use for this one, I'm really excited. This is my favorite sentiment. I actually requested this one be added to the set. It's on this set. It says, it's like a walk in a park 65 million years ago. And I think that's perfect for this because you could be walking in this park 65 million years ago. It's kind of a pun, and I think it's funny. So that's what made me decide on that sentiment. So we just take this one. So I use that egg dye a lot. We still have some in the shop for now. We're not going to reorder them. So once they're out, they're out. So if you want one, they're good for Easter. They're good for nests. Sorry, I think I just put my head in the screen, but I needed to get that. All right, so why is that not? It's just because I have the card in there. The whole card is in there. Yes, I stamp right on top of it, because what's the worst that can happen? I mess up the stamp, and then I'll cut a mat and a paper and stick it over top. So I already have a fix in mind. If it doesn't work, that's the way I'd do it. That's the way I'd fix it. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to stamp it once more just because it is on such a dark background. But I'm going to stamp it once more just to make sure it's legible. Awesome. Isn't that super cool? Oh, I love how that came out. That background just makes it the best ever. Oh, I need to clean this stamp off because you guys know I don't like to not do that. And I am trying to do that part fast. We are almost done. We have one more card, and this one, I've never made this card before, so I hope it works, but no promises. This one worked really well, so I'm super happy with that. I wasn't sure how this was going to roll, but I really, really like it. Okay, so card on the inside. Sometimes I put these on in there when I cut the card bases, but I just didn't this time. So now I got to put them on there. So there we go. I'm going to flip this over. Stamp on the back. Sign my name if I can find my pen, because now I have whole bunch of stuff on my desk. I got one more card we're going to throw together. Okay, so this one, I think I might, I don't know, what do you think? No, I don't think I'm going to put anything on it. I think I'm good with it just the way it is. So this one's done now. We have 3. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how many we're going to have when we're done. 4. Okay, so this is the last one that I have. I have all the pieces cut out. I got this a really long time ago. It's from Art Impressions. And what it is it's just this little die cut that cuts out the cover for you to put a slider card in. So you have to cut the slider piece based on this piece of paper. So you just take this piece of paper and trace it around it and cut it out. It's really simple. And then this piece you die cut. So I die cut this piece out. It scores it for you. And that we're using that. So we have this piece right here. Here's the sentiment I found that we're going to use. We're going to do another birthday card. I cut some clouds because he's flying, so he might need to have some clouds in the sky. I cut more grass just in case I wanted to use it. This is the piece that we're going to stamp the sentiment on. And there's our pterodactyl. And here's our card base. So since the card's going to go in this direction, I did the arrows this way on purpose because you're going to have to pull the slider out, and I wanted that to be kind of obvious. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. It's just a 1/4 of an inch smaller than the card base on all sides. So there's a border just like I did all the other ones. This is the way it opens. I want to make sure I'm opening it the right way. Okay. I'm going to press that down so it seals it in pretty good. I'm going to actually do this one too while we're here. Just get that out of the way. This glue is refillable, so you can use whatever you want. You thought I was done, so you were going to go? Nope, one more. This is it, the last one right here. I'll make sure we're almost done. I just had, this one I'll do the last colored image we have. So we colored them all. We did cards last night. Night before last. And then this one. So I am going to have to stamp this one, but I just know I'm going to stick my arm in it. Okay, so I've never put this together, but it was pretty easy. I die cut this, and then you fold these edges over with whatever size, a side of the pattern paper you want to show. And I wanted the stars, or it could have been orange. So what happens is you glue down, and you're making this slider pocket so that this will slide right in there. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. So I'm just going to make sure that I just glue along this skinny strip right here. And this one. And this one. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put this up at the top. Well, maybe kind of halfway. Not quite halfway, but you know what I mean. Because you can see. I'm lining it up with the arrows on the card just to make sure that I have it lined up the way that it should be. I'm I'm going to flip it over and press it down so I get like that really perfect spot for it to seal on. So there we go. So now we have this. I wanted to put some grass down here. Kind of glad I have an extra one because it's sort of cut shorter than the other one. So we can just add some pieces. So maybe I'll cut them a little bit more, like this. And I'll take this one and cut the same thing, one piece off, and then we'll just kind of layer them up. Crisscross the grass, crisscross grass. And we can put one over here. This is the way we fill in when we didn't measure. I think I'll use this one. It's a full grass there. And then we'll use this one on this side, underneath here. So then we're really filling in that grass. So I'm going to do that. So let's glue it down. We'll glue this one down first. So I use this die cut a lot tonight. But they are dinosaurs. They need to be in the grass. You're loving it? Yay! So I know that I've seen your name a few times, Chrissy, but so what we do is I usually color some images like from a set or a new release. I try to color almost all the images in the set so that everybody can see how they're colored. And then we save those, and at the end we make cards out of all of the stuff that we colored together in the lives. And I'm live usually Monday through Friday at 10 p.m. Central Time. Not tomorrow because my daughter is in a play and I have tickets to go see her play tomorrow night. So that's why I won't be here tomorrow night. But then we'll pick up again and we'll pick another set, or we'll finish with these dinosaurs we started with the girl tonight. And then we'll make cards again. So I figure if you watch me color it, you might want to see what kind of cards you can make out of it. So that's why we always do the cards too. Oops. Sometimes we color a background with copics another night. Sometimes we just make cards like this. It just depends. Whatever we're feeling at the time. Okay. So I'm gonna line this one up. The other side will overlap. And then when I put down this one, I'll start here and overlap this way so that we get a lot of grass there. So it looks like it's really, really heavily grassed, if that's the word. I don't know. It's late. We can say whatever words we want. Just as long as they're not bad, because then we get in Facebook jail. So as long as they're nice words, we can say them. So feel free to come back and join us anytime. We love having people hanging out. Okay, so there we go. The grass is very busy. You can't even tell where they start and stop, so it's totally fine. Flip it over, press down to really seal that glue, evenly spread it out, and it's all good. So now we have the bottom. I may not use this largest cloud because it's too big, but I still think I want to use the little cloud. So maybe we'll put them here. I'm going to temporarily put them there. I'm not going to glue them down yet, but kind of like them there. And then this is the paper that I cut. That's exactly the size when I cut this die cut out. when you cut this die cut out, it cuts out this inside piece right here. So I use that piece as a guide and cut this one. So it would fit perfectly inside here, like this, with my sentiment on it. So when you pull the slide back, you can see the sentiment. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put happy birthday, because they'll have to, you know, pull that slider to see the full word. So let's put it on here. I still have my last sentiment on there, but I'll clean that up afterwards. I like to use this one. It holds it really still. Well, I stuck them together. Slippery little suckers. Okay, so I'm going to put my little happy birthday right there. Let's take that off. You can't leave these stacked and still stamped, so there we go. So I'm just pressing down my sentiment to make sure I have it centered on here. I'm going to use my VersaFine again. I really don't have any colored ink pads. I have a couple that Jamie gave me, but I have never bought a set other than Stampin' Up, which I sold already. Because I usually just use black, white, and sometimes the nude color, what's it called, like sand or something like that, because I use it for, you know, to go with my stuff. So I just don't use colors. I don't have anything against them. It's just I've colored the image, so I feel like I don't really necessarily want to color use ink color as well. It might not match. It might not, you know, whatever. So I just don't use colored ink. I do have a few, but not very many. I don't see me buying a whole set unless I come up with some awesome reason to need it. Okay, so I'm going to place this in there. It's going to be like, I'm going to place it that way a little bit more. There'll be a space right here, but nobody's going to pull this all the way out. There's going to be a way to stop it. So as long as it goes all the way over here where you'll see it. So I'm going to put the glue on it. I'm literally going to glue it down. Right like that. In there. So we place it in there. I'm going to flip it over to press it down to make sure it gets glued in there really well. Notice I don't do it from the front because I don't want to smear any ink, or I don't want to slide anything if the glue is not dry yet. It just works perfectly from the back. So then this piece that we cut earlier just goes right in here and slides closed. So it still gives you enough to be able to grab it here and open it up, and it says happy birthday. Isn't that neat? Super simple to do that. So what I thought was, how am I going to keep them from pulling this all the way out? So I decided that this is where Mr. Pterodactyl comes into play. So I'm going to close this up so I don't stick my arm in it. So I thought, what would be the best thing to put on the back of him? So I thought, let's do a sweet spring. So he will wobble and he'll slide. So he's going to be a dual purpose, a dual action here. So the side that is all clear goes on the card, and the side with the hole in it goes on the pterodactyl. So let me see here. Does that, I'm going to put it on his body, and maybe I'm going to put it this way. And then I'm going to take this off. These sweet springs, as we call them in the shop, are super fun. They make your little animal wobble around. It's pretty cool. Or your person or whatever you want to put on a wobble. Oh my goodness. I can't get a hold of that. Oh, there we go. Okay. So now that I have him ready, I just have to decide how I want him to sit. He's definitely going to be up here to start with. So I'm going to put him on there like this. And then I'm going to slide it open, and that will stop it. That sweet spring will stop it right after the word, "Aw, yay!" So it goes in there, and then it slides, but it won't come out because of the wobble. And then he wobbles like this. So he wobbles and he slides, which makes him super awesome. And then let's put some clouds. Maybe we should just put a little cloud. I don't know. I was thinking the clouds would be super cute up here. Maybe they need to be on this side. Let's see what it looks like when we open up the, like if we slide this and these are glued down. Yeah, that should work. Maybe we'll do it this way. There we go. Okay, so we got to glue this one down real good. We want to make sure that's really flat so it doesn't get stuck on the pterodactyl. Which is another reason why I didn't lay him flat on here, because I wanted to put some other dimensional stuff. And you can't do that if you lay him flat. So the wobble kind of did a dual purpose for me. Can't really flip that over because the wobble's on there. It won't let me do it very well. Maybe I'll put this one up here. I can't decide. Yeah, let's just do it. Sometimes when I can't decide, I just glue it down. Then I can't change my mind. I do that with scrapbooking too. When I'm scrapbooking a page and I keep moving this stuff around and moving it around and I can't decide, I just, at some point, just pick it up and glue it down. Because I'm like, once I start gluing it down, there's no going back. So, yeah, I just do that. I just want to make sure I'm using my espresso to press that down. I want to make sure that's on there really good. And then when you get your card, you just grab this. And it says, "Happy birthday." Isn't that adorable? Oh my gosh, that came out so good. I was so worried about that because I've never done that. I've had that slider thing for probably 6 years and never used it. And now I'm super happy that I did. So we could put little bones down here for just for a little bit of bling on there, because I like to have a little bit of something, and this is kind of more boyish, so bones is better than bling. So I'm just going to grab me out a couple more white because I don't want to put any, so we could probably need 5 because I need an uneven number, so I'll crisscross these bones. Maybe. They're kind of stuck together. So we just need 3 more. So maybe we'll do it like this. I'll put a couple up in the grass, then down here. Put this one in the grass too. Kind of like that. Maybe we won't crisscross them. Maybe they'll just look cute like this. Where do I want to put this? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, doesn't really matter where they are, as long as they're on there somewhere. I'll move one over here. It looks like he's dumped all of his, like he ate all his food and now he just dumped all his little bones down here on the bottom. So let's put them on there. And then I'll show the cards again so you can see what they all look like. And then tomorrow we'll start with fresh with the new something else. I mean, not tomorrow, not Friday, because we have the show. I have the show tomorrow. But then after that, we'll be back on Monday with some new fun stuff, and that just stuck to my finger instead of the paper. Doesn't that happen to you guys? I have a little bit of glue on my finger. Almost done. The colors are gorgeous. Like the colors? And we colored that guy a couple of nights ago, so I'm about to put all the videos on YouTube. So if you missed them and you want to go back and color with me, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch the replays on the YouTube channel. And I'm going to number them part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and part 5. This is part 5 tonight, because this is the last one with the last one in the series. So, and I put all the colors, I put all the colors that I use when I colored with Copics. I put all of those in the description on the YouTube channel. So if you watch this and you decide you really, really like to color, you can go back and pick up that color. So there we go. We have bones, and we have a slider and a wobble. He wobbles. Oh, Cooper would love this card. And then we have this one that we made with the stencil. Roar. That we have in the shop. And then this one we made using the stencil in the background. The little bones and happy birthday. And then this one had our sweet little velociraptors in it. It said, "It's like a walk in the park 65 million years ago." You got the holder in teal. Yay! So there we go. We did all of these cards tonight. The 2 cards we did the other night, the other 2 cards was this one and this shaker card. We did the shaker card the other night. It's popped up and it's a shaker card. So we did this one as 2. And these were the colored images that we colored before we made any cards. So there we go. Look, we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total cards with this set that we made. Now, wasn't that super fun? Super, super fun. So, I won't be live tomorrow. Jamie might jump in. I'm not sure, but I'll tell her to put a post up if she's going to and do one for me. Or she may do one earlier in the day. So just kind of watch for her to do a comment. I won't be live tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. No. Is tomorrow Thursday or Friday? Yeah. Chrissy, send me a message, like send me a PM, and I'm pretty sure I might have teal in the stuff that I have here at the house, the inventory that I have at the house. I might be able to show you what that looks like, so send me a PM. Hi, Barbie. If tomorrow is Thursday, I will be live tomorrow. I will not be live on Friday. Friday is the night I have tickets to the show. So I will be back tomorrow night. So if tomorrow is Thursday, I will be back tomorrow night. So you guys will see me tomorrow. Yay! I have this extra cloud I'm tempted to put inside this card. How cute would that be? Okay. All right, I really am done. Okay, it was super, super fun. We got through a whole bunch of stuff. So definitely, if you want to see any of them again, just watch the replay. Please comment. Let us know if you go out to YouTube, because the more people that watch on YouTube and comment helps us move up on that. So if you help us out with that, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys tomorrow night. Good night.